All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about something that I'm asked quite often, and that is, how do I get my partner involved in magic? Or not. Perhaps you don't want them involved, but you want them to be okay with what you do, especially if your partner has a religious or semi-religious upbringing. And I know I've talked about this briefly at some point, but I did want to make it its own video. So let's get into it. All right, so first things first, if you want your partner to be okay with you practicing magic, then don't call it magic. If you do, then that's it. You're done. You've lost. Or at least now have created a long uphill battle. Getting your partner to accept your magical practice is all about how you frame it. If you just immediately come out and say, yes, I practice occult magic, that will instantly and automatically bring up negative assumptions and images and stereotypes. Hollywood media and religion have done a very good job at programming people to see occult magic as being something evil. Paranormal shows such as Ghost Adventures always do their best to try to connect a haunting with a satanic ritual. And it must have been a satanic ritual because no one good would be performing magic rituals. It must have been evil. So your partner is going to think that you're going to be conjuring demons in the basement, and perhaps you may be doing a Goetic operation, but their mind is going to turn to what they've been programmed with, and all of it is negative. It's not their fault, it's your fault for how you framed it. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is avoid the term magic, and that also includes the terms witch or witchcraft. Ladies, if you want to get serious with someone, do not call yourselves a witch, or say that you practice witchcraft. Men do not like that. They do not want to think you're going to be cursing or hexing them every time you get angry. That is not something that guys want to think about. You may as well be waving a red flag. That's the way it's been portrayed by religion, media, and Hollywood. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. So if you can't call it magic, ceremonial magic, witchcraft, well then how are you going to refer to it that isn't going to set off alarm bells in your partner's mind? Well, you just need to call it something else. See, now my girlfriend doesn't practice magic with me. She has no interest in it. She has a very strict Irish Catholic upbringing. And back in the day, we used to watch a lot of paranormal shows. So I knew better than to say, oh, by the way, I'm practicing occult magic in the basement downstairs. I hope you don't mind. Because then she'd be like, oh, hell no. Not after that paranormal witness episode last night. So you need to refer to it in a way that's not going to set off what I call the evil alert. So the first way you can refer to it is meditation. Hey, I thought I would take up meditation, help clear my mind a bit. I'm going to go downstairs. Please do not disturb me during my meditation time. Most people would not have a problem with that. Same goes for self-hypnosis. You can call it self-hypnosis. Now they may ask, well, why are you doing self-hypnosis? You can say, well, I heard some guy on the internet talking about how we could do more with just self-hypnosis than quit smoking. We can actually use it to raise our income. Again, they probably wouldn't have a problem with that, especially when you start achieving the results. When your partner sees how it's completely changing your life around for the better, they'll be fully on board, trust me. It wasn't that long ago, though, that both meditation and hypnosis were considered evil also by the church, but in recent decades have become more widely accepted. So it's not setting off their evil alert as occult magic would. They could also frame it as working with the subconscious, although that may be a little bit more strange to them. But you can explain it how I explain it, that you're putting an instruction into your subconscious mind with the hope that it will manifest. It's a little bit riskier frame than the others, but it could work. Again, especially if it's yielding results. And when it comes down to trying to get your partner to join your magical practice, you really do need to get the results first. When they see all the benefits that you're getting, it's a much easier sell. Now, my girlfriend's never had an issue with my practice, and as the results came in, she's been very supportive of it. And people will tell me, well, you're lucky. You're lucky to have such an accepting partner. But luck had nothing to do with it. It was all in the way that I framed it and slowly introduced it. something that they're not used to and mainstream society frowns upon, and they don't understand, it's a lot for them to take on at once. If you just spring your practice on someone all at once, it could be a bit overwhelming. I also did my best to schedule my practice for times that she was away from home, when she'd be at work, for example, so she doesn't hear all the vibrating of God names and the calling of the archangels and whatnot. And when you're just starting out, especially, you want to make sure that you're not disrupted or distracted during your practice. And there's nothing more distracting than thinking your partner's listening and judging you from the other room. So scheduling when your partner isn't around is something you also want to take into consideration, at least until you're both comfortable with it, and then you can begin to move your partner into your practice along with you if you choose. Now, one last way that you could bring it up to your partner and frame it as something other than magic is your religious practice. I read the scripture in my magical practice all the time. Now, it's all going to depend on how religious your partner is themselves. If they're not at all religious, then reading aloud or singing the scripture may be just as jarring to them as occult magic would. So it's really going to depend on both of your upbringing. I use scripture in my practice all the time because of my upbringing. It helps me reconcile my Judeo-Christian upbringing with my practice. And so if you've both had a Judeo-Christian upbringing, then calling your magical practice your spiritual practice, or even praying, may go a long way to getting your partner on board. Because magic really is the correct way to pray. And you can even be performing magic without them knowing just by reading the scripture as outlined in the Psalms Magick of the Old Testament program, which is going to be on sale for 20% off now through next Friday, June 18th. Psalms Magick of the Old Testament is the program that's going to help you reconcile and incorporate a Judeo-Christian upbringing into your magical practice. Several traditions such as root work or hoodoo do this to great effect already, using scripture to supercharge their magical practice, and in particular, the Book of Psalms. We're going to cover all 150 Psalms and what they're used for in magic, why it's okay to cherry pick from the Psalms as opposed to other books of the Bible, a remedy for insomnia. Everyone that I've ever known personally that has suffered with insomnia has told me that this has worked for them. I'm going to show you how to curse your enemies without it being considered baneful. I'm going to show you when not to use the Psalms and a whole lot more. And every version of the Psalms Magick of the Old Testament program comes with a bonus PDF ebook companion guide listing all 150 Psalms and their uses in magic. Hyperlink to go straight from its use and purpose to the Psalm itself for your convenience. You can get Psalms Magick of the Old Testament and other Mind and Magic programs over at mindandmagic.com today. I want to thank you all for listening. Once again, Psalms Magick of the Old Testament, 20% off now through next Friday. A link with the discount applied will be in the video and in the description, and I'll see you next time. Take care.